The story of the Reconquista begins with the fall of the once powerful Visigothic kingdom in the early 8th century. For centuries, the Visigoths ruled the Iberian Peninsula, but internal strife weakened their hold. In 711 CE, Muslim forces under the command of Tariq ibn Ziyad crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and dealt a decisive blow to the Visigoths at the Battle of Guadalete, where the Visigothic king Roderick was slain. This victory paved the way for the rapid expansion of Muslim rule across the peninsula, establishing Al-Andalus and forever changing the fate of Spain. With the fall of the Visigothic kingdom, the Muslims quickly expanded their control, capturing key cities like Cordoba and Toledo. By 718 CE, most of the Iberian Peninsula had come under Muslim rule, forming the new Islamic state of Al-Andalus. This new territory became known for its cultural and scientific achievements, blending influences from the Islamic world and the local Christian and Jewish populations. The establishment of Al-Andalus marked the beginning of a new era, one characterized by coexistence and conflict. Even as the Muslims established control over much of Spain, resistance began to form in the northern mountains. Christian nobles and leaders, refusing to submit, retreated to the rugged terrain where they began forming the first strongholds of resistance. These early efforts, though small, laid the foundation for what would eventually become the centuries-long struggle known as the Reconquista. In 711 CE, the Muslim forces, led by the ambitious Tariq ibn Ziyad, crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and swiftly defeated the Visigothic army at the Battle of Guadalete. The Moorish army, using advanced tactics and cavalry, quickly took control of southern Spain. Major cities like Cordoba, Toledo, and Sevilla fell. And within a few short years, the Iberian Peninsula became known as Al-Andalus. The Muslim rulers brought architectural wonders, agricultural innovations, and a thriving trade network that connected Spain to the wider Islamic world. Following their victory, the Muslim rulers established Al-Andalus, transforming southern Spain into a hub of culture and trade. The Moors introduced new irrigation techniques, boosting agriculture, while their architects built stunning structures like the Great Mosque of Cordoba. This new Islamic state became a melting pot, where Christians, Muslims, and Jews coexisted, though under Muslim rule. The wealth and splendor of Al-Andalus were unmatched in Europe at the time. While the Moors thrived in the south, Christian resistance in the north was slowly gaining momentum. In 718 CE, at the Battle of Covadonga, a Christian army, led by Peleo, defeated the Moors in the rugged mountains of Asturias. This victory marked the beginning of the Christian Reconquest, later known as the Reconquista. The Kingdom of Asturias became the first Christian stronghold, and over the next few centuries, small Christian kingdoms would form alliances and expand their territories. By the 10th century, the Christian kingdoms in northern Spain had grown more powerful and united. The kingdoms of Leon, Navarre, and Castile began to consolidate their territories and form alliances against the Muslim rulers in the south. One of the key figures in this process was King Alfonso III of Asturias, who expanded his kingdom's influence, claiming land southward and strengthening the Christian foothold in Spain. During this time, the Christian leaders began to see the Reconquista not just as a territorial campaign, but as a holy war, with divine backing to reclaim the Iberian Peninsula for Christendom. One of the most significant victories of the 11th century was the reconquest of Toledo in 1085 by King Alfonso VI of Leon and Castile. Toledo had been one of the great cities of Al-Andalus, a cultural and intellectual hub. Its capture was a symbolic and strategic victory for the Christians, marking the first time a major Moorish city was recaptured. Alfonso VI's conquest of Toledo was seen as a divine sign that the Reconquista was succeeding, and it encouraged further military campaigns against the Moors. During this time, one of the most legendary figures of the Reconquista emerged, Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, known as El Cid. A brilliant military leader, El Cid fought for both Christian and Muslim rulers during his lifetime, often as a mercenary. However, his most famous victories came as he led Christian forces in the Reconquista. After being exiled by Alfonso VI, El Cid captured the city of Valencia in 1094, establishing his own short-lived kingdom. His life became the subject of legends and ballads, and he remains a national hero in Spain to this day. In 1212, the Christian kingdoms launched a major offensive against the Almohad Caliphate at the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa. Led by King Alfonso VIII of Castile, and with the support of Pope Innocent III, a coalition of Christian forces from Castile, Aragon, and Navarre confronted the Almohad army in the hills of Jaén. Despite being heavily outnumbered, the Christian forces devised a flanking maneuver that overwhelmed the Almohads. This victory shattered the strength of the Muslim forces in Spain, marking a turning point in the Reconquista. The Christian victory at Las Navas de Tolosa sent shockwaves through the Muslim territories. In the decades following the battle, Christian forces rapidly reclaimed key territories, including the cities of Córdoba in 1236 and Seville in 1248. The once powerful Almohad Caliphate crumbled, unable to recover from the devastating defeat. This period saw a major shift in power, with Christian rulers consolidating their control over much of Spain. The defeat of the Almohads marked the beginning of the end for Muslim power in Spain. The Almohad Caliphate fractured, leaving its territories vulnerable to Christian attacks. As the Christians reclaimed territory, the Muslim rulers were forced to retreat further south, consolidating in the Kingdom of Granada, the last Muslim stronghold in Spain. The Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa had irrevocably shifted the balance of power in the Iberian Peninsula. During the 12th century, the Reconquista saw the rise of Christian military orders, such as the Knights Templar, the Order of Calatrava, and the Order of Santiago. These religious warriors were not only driven by faith, but also by the promise of land and wealth. With the blessing of the Pope, these orders helped Christian kings recapture vast territories from the Moors, playing a pivotal role in the ongoing Reconquista. Their fortified castles and strategic military tactics made them formidable opponents on the battlefield. The Knights Templar, famous for their role in the Crusades, brought their military expertise to Spain, where they were heavily involved in the recapture of key cities such as Tortosa and Tarragona. Their well-organized forces were crucial in helping Christian rulers fortify newly reclaimed lands, ensuring that Moorish forces could not easily retake them. The Templars were also granted vast estates in Spain, which they used to fund further campaigns and build an extensive network of castles. While the military orders played a significant role in the Reconquista, their influence waned as Christian kings consolidated their power. By the late 13th century, the Templars and other orders were seen as a threat to the monarchies and were eventually disbanded or absorbed into royal armies. Despite this, their legacy remains visible in Spain today, with many of their castles and fortresses still standing. The Order of Santiago, in particular, continued to thrive, playing a key role in protecting pilgrims on the Camino de Santiago and defending Spain from future invasions. Though the Reconquista was a military campaign, its influence on Spain's culture and architecture was profound. The former Muslim cities, especially Cordoba, Sevilla, and Granada, became rich tapestries of Islamic, Christian, and Jewish influences. The Alhambra Palace, a masterpiece of Moorish architecture, became a symbol of Spain's Islamic past. The Mezquita of Cordoba, originally a mosque, was transformed into a Catholic cathedral, blending the religious influences that shaped the Iberian Peninsula. After the Reconquista, Ferdinand and Isabella sought to create a religiously homogeneous Spain. In 1478, they established the Spanish Inquisition, a tribunal that targeted anyone suspected of practicing Islam, Judaism, or any beliefs other than Catholicism. Jews and Muslims were given the choice of conversion or exile, and many were forced to flee Spain. The Edict of Expulsion in 1492 forced thousands of Jews to leave, creating a diaspora across Europe and North Africa. The end of the Reconquista marked the beginning of a new era for Spain. In 1492, the same year that Granada fell, Ferdinand and Isabella funded Christopher Columbus's voyage to the New World. This event marked the start of Spain's expansion into the Americas, where it would establish one of the largest and most powerful empires in history. While the Reconquista had brought unity to Spain, it also laid the foundation for its global influence, as the country transformed into a dominant imperial power in the 16th century. The Reconquista left an indelible mark on the architecture and art of Spain. The fusion of Moorish and Christian styles resulted in a unique blend known as mudéjar architecture, characterized by intricate tilework, horseshoe arches, and detailed geometric patterns. Prominent examples of this can still be seen in the Alhambra, Mezquita of Cordoba, and Seville's Alcázar. These masterpieces stand as a testament to the cultural synthesis that arose from centuries of conflict. Beyond architecture, the legacy of Al-Andalus is also found in the Spanish language and society. The Moors introduced new agricultural techniques, scientific knowledge, and even vocabulary that enriched the culture of Spain. Words like aceituna, olive, and azúcar, sugar, have their roots in Arabic. Similarly, the coexistence of Muslims, Christians, and Jews during the medieval period gave rise to a culturally diverse society, even as religious tensions persisted. The Reconquista not only unified Spain under Catholic rule, but also set the stage for its rise as a global power. With the expulsion of the Moors and Jews, Spain's rulers turned their attention to global exploration and conquest. In 1492, the same year Granada fell, Christopher Columbus set sail for the Americas. This marked the beginning of Spain's vast overseas empire, which would spread Spanish culture, language, and influence across the globe. The Reconquista may have ended, but its impact endures, forever intertwined with the story of Spain. If you like this documentary, check our channel for more stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe.